if you pay contractors in the course of your business, you know it can be time-consuming and expensive to do so. Whether it's switching in between different payment apps to pay your contractors in the way they want to get paid, or using a payroll provider that can cost tens or hundreds of dollars a month, paying contractors can take time and money. But with Found, it can be a lot simpler, easier, and require no additional fees. And I want to show you how you can do that here today. So I'm here in my Found account. You can see that I'm in my kind of standard business banking interface here on our desktop app. And I'm going to go, and the first thing that I'm going to do is come down to the contractors page. So when you come over here to contractors, you'll see that we've got a couple of different pages here. One, we've got a place for all of your contractor profiles. We have a place where all of your payments will populate and provide you a payment report. And we also have a place where you can collect tax forms, and we'll talk about that more here in just a second. But let's start with paying a contractor. So I'm going to come over here, I'm going to go ahead and hit the Pay a Contractor button, and I'm going to create a new contact that I'm going to be paying. I just started working with this individual named Jerry Garcia. And you'll see here that I've got a couple of different options in terms of contact information that I can add for the person, whether it's their phone number, email, or both. I can also add additional information like their business name, their address, etc. And then I've also got a setting here at the bottom that allows me to choose whether I'd like the payment recipient to accept their own payment, accept the payment using their own information, or if I'd like to sort of submit information on their behalf. And so here, if I uncheck this box, you can see I can actually go in here and enter the account and routing number for this individual's bank account and pay them directly to their bank account, which can be an added step of convenience for folks where you know them well, you want to pay them in the way that you have been already. You can just go ahead and do that using their bank details. I'm going to go ahead and let Jerry decide how they want to get paid. And I'm going to put in their contact information here. Jerry prefers to get paid via phone, so I'm going to go ahead and enter their phone information. I'm going to go ahead and pay them. I'm going to switch this over to my payroll pocket, which is where I like to track all of my contractor payments and make sure this is checked as track a 1099 payment, which it is. And I'm going to go ahead and hit send. So now you'll see the payment was just sent. I'm waiting on Jerry to accept the payment. And you can see that Found has automatically categorized this payment for me. So one of the benefits of using Found to track your 1099 payments and your contractor payments is that all of these payments are automatically book kept for you, and Found is kind of keeping track of these so that you know exactly how much money you're spending on contractor services, and also any money that you might save on your taxes by taking these contractor services expenses as business write-offs. So all of that is being tracked natively in Found using our bookkeeping tools as well. Great, so I'm going to go ahead and click out here, and you can see that I've got Jerry here now in my contractor profiles page. If I click over to my payments report, you'll see that Jerry's payment shows up here on total payments below $600. We try to split these out so you can see how many folks you need to generate tax forms for. And you can see here that if I go back to contractor profiles, I also can show here that I'm missing a W-9 for Jerry. One of the great things that Found allows you to do, in addition to making your payments to contractors, is it actually allows you to manage all of the tax documentation associated with your contractors as well. So if I click here, you'll see that I have the ability actually to request W-9 information from Jerry. And when I do that, that information, assuming Jerry gives it to me, will be reflected in this 1099 NEC document that Found generates for me as well, which is a document that you need to generate if you pay a contractor over $600 in a tax year. So both really, really helpful pieces of functionality. I'm going to go ahead and request W-9 information from Jerry, and I'll show you in just a second what that looks like on Jerry's end. Great, so I've gone ahead and paid Jerry, I've requested their W-9 information, and I'm done. Effectively, from my perspective as the person that's paying Jerry for their work, I've got my ducks in a row, and I'm waiting on Jerry to accept the payment and provide me with some documentation so that we can stay on top of taxes together. So let's go over here to Jerry's world. If I come here, you'll see that Jerry has received a text message from me. They've received 2 text messages from me, actually, one with their payment information and the other with the request for W-9 information. Let's start with the payment. I'm going to go ahead and click on this link. So this is what your recipients, the folks that you pay, will see on their end. They get a prompt to go ahead and enter their code to verify that they are in fact the person that is intended to receive the payment. Go ahead and do that real quick. And you can see that Jerry now is receiving this payment from me, and they have the option to accept this payment in a couple of different ways. One, Jerry could actually go ahead and open a found account themselves, and that would allow them to get paid instantly. So this $50 would be made available to them right away. They'd be able to use that money with a ready-to-use virtual debit card that's available immediately, and they could sign up for a found account in just minutes. So that's one option that's available to them. They also have the ability, if I go down here, to accept that payment to an existing debit card, an existing bank account, or Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App account. You can see they can click on any one of these options, and it allows them to put in their information and accept their payment that way. So this is one of the great benefits of using Found for contractor payments. For you as the person sending payments, there's no more switching between different apps to pay different people that you might be working with. You can send one payment from Found and let your recipient decide how they want to accept that payment. And in the future, you can also ensure that they get paid the same way if they have a preferred payment method. So your Found allows you to set a preferred payment method for any individual contact and allow them to get paid to that same payment method over and over again for future payments, allowing them to sit back and just let their payments come to their preferred method instead of having to go through and accept a payment each time. So that's one benefit of setting a preferred payment method for the folks that you work with. So that's it. You know, Jerry goes through, completes either one of these payment options or opens a Found account, and they will be paid and have their money available if they open the Found account immediately, if they do an instant transfer immediately for a fee, or within a couple of business days through the other forms here. If we come back over to Jerry's texts, they also have this W-9 request for me, so let's go ahead and look at that. You can see that they've received a link from Found where they can enter their W-9 information securely and pass that back along to me as the person paying them. This will allow me to generate the necessary 1099 for Jerry. So Jerry's going to go ahead and fill this out real quick with their business information. They're going to go ahead and enter any tax identifying information that they might have. And then they'll see that they've got their W-9 filled out. They get a copy of it here that they can review and sign. And they also have the ability to download that W-9 once it's completed. Great, so you've got your completed W-9 here on Jerry's side. From Jerry's perspective, they're all done. They've gone ahead and accepted their payment, and they've also entered their W-9 information for me. If I come back here to Found and I refresh, you'll see that I now have Jerry's W-9 status here completed. And when I come back over to my contractor tax forms, I now see that I have a 1099 NEC generated for Jerry that I can use come tax time. So I am now all set. I've paid Jerry. I've received their information. I have the tax forms that I need to make sure that I'm compliant in terms of paying them for their work over the course of the year. And I can go ahead and do this with subsequent contractors that I have, other contractors that I work with. A couple of power user features that I might highlight here. One is if you're paying the same person regularly, you also have the ability to go into any one payment and duplicate it. So if I come over here, hit duplicate payment, I can quickly and easily pay Jerry from the same pocket with the same amount of money that I was previously. So this is great and an easy way for folks that are paying the same person regularly to quickly and easily generate new payments. The other thing that I can do is oftentimes folks will have paid someone previously. So in that case, I can go through here, back to my activity feed. I can enter a 1099 payment that I may have made to Jerry before I was using Found to manage these payments. So I'm going to go ahead and say 50. I'm going to choose Jerry, and I'm going to say that this payment was made back in May. Go ahead and save that here. And you can see that I'm now tracking that payment as well. Found is doing all of its bookkeeping magic to make sure I am on top of it in terms of categorizing my expenses. And if I come back over here, I can see that, when I come to my 1099 payments report, I now am showing $100 in payments to Jerry, one in June and one in May. So I'm all up to date, even though not all of my payments to Jerry had been going through the Found platform. It's another way for folks that are regularly paying contractors to stay on top of things. A couple other things I would note. One, if you pay folks to an external bank account, whether through Found or to the Found account or to an outside bank, we don't have any limits on the amount of money that you can send via external bank transfer or Found to Found. And that's great because it allows you to pay contractors as much as you need to in order to keep your business running. The other thing that I would note is that we also have functionality that allows you to schedule payments to be made in the future, which makes it really easy for you to go in, say, hey, I want to make sure that I pay this contractor on this date once the work is completed. You can schedule that in advance and have it go out automatically, saving you time from having to go back and do things when you know that you have a planned payment that needs to be made. So just a couple other features that make it really easy for you to manage everything from within Found. So I hope this has been a good primer for those of you interested in contractor payments on how you can pay your contractors using Found, manage all of the tax documentation associated with paying contractors, and stay on top of your bookkeeping for any contractor expenses, all within the Found platform. And again, you can do all of this within Found for no additional cost. This is included as a part of the Found platform for banking, bookkeeping, and taxes. It's something that we give access to everyone that is using Found as a product, and we're super excited to have you use it and hopefully save time and money on making your contractor payments.